Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are diving into the world of arrays. This is a fundamental concept in programming. In this video, we will understand what arrays are and explore some basic operations that you can perform with them. So, what exactly is an array? An array is a data structure that stores multiple values of the same type in a contiguous or adjacent memory location. Think of it as a container that holds several items of the same kind, all lined up next to each other. Key points about arrays are that they are an ordered collection of elements, meaning the position of each element matters. Each element has an index, and this index always starts at 0. Many languages use arrays that have fixed sizes, meaning once you decide how big the array is, you cannot change it. Finally, arrays allow fast access to elements using their index position, allowing quick retrieval of values. Now let's explore how to declare arrays. There are several ways to do this, depending on whether you want an empty array or one with initial values. Here are a few examples. First, we can declare an empty array. This creates an array with no elements, ready for you to add items later. Next, we can declare an array with initial values. This method creates an array and immediately populates it with the specified values, for example, numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. We can also create an array of strings. Similar to the numbers array, this creates an array, but this time filled with text, such as apple, banana, and orange. Lastly, we can create an array using a range. This method uses a range function to generate a sequence of numbers and converts it into an array. Remember, the index starts at 0. So, the first element is at index 0, the second at index 1, and so on. Let's learn how to access the elements within an array. Arrays are zero-indexed, meaning the first element is at index 0. To access an element, you use square brackets with the index number inside. You can use both positive and negative indices. Positive indices count from the beginning of the array, starting at 0, whereas negative indices count from the end, starting at -1. Accessing an index that is out of range will result in an error. Some common access patterns are the first element, which is array at index 0, the last element, which is array at index -1, or array at length of array -1, and the nth element, which is array at n-1. Time to learn how to modify array elements. Modifying an element means changing the value stored at a specific index in the array. To modify an element, specify the array name followed by the index in square brackets. Then, use the assignment operator to assign a new value to that position. For example, to change the value at index 2 to 99, you would write numbers square bracket 2 close square bracket equals 99. You can also modify multiple elements in a similar way, one at a time. After the modification, the array will reflect the updated values. Arrays support a variety of operations to manage and manipulate data. Let's explore some common operations. To add elements, you can add to the end of the array, using the append function. You can also insert at a specific position, using the insert function. To remove elements, you can remove by value, using the remove function, and remove by index, using the delete function. To find elements, you can find the index of an element using the index function, or count occurrences using the count function. You can also perform array manipulation, such as sorting the array using the sort function, and reversing the array using the reverse function. Array slicing is a powerful way to extract a portion of an array. You specify where to start the slice and where to end it. For example, with fruit square bracket 1:4 close square bracket, you will get a slice from index 1 up to but not including index 4. Basic slicing uses the syntax array, square bracket, start :end, close square bracket. This selects elements from the start index up to but not including the end index. You can also omit indices. If you omit the start index, the slice starts from the beginning of the array. If you omit the end index, the slice goes to the end of the array. Another thing you can do is use a step value. This means array square bracket start colon end colon step, close square bracket. If you put 2, that takes every second element from the start to the end, and with a negative step it will do it in reverse order. Array iteration involves going through each element in the array to perform some operation. There are several ways to do this. The first is by using a for loop. You can iterate by index, using a for loop with the range function and the length of the array. This way you access each element via its index. The second is direct element access, where you can iterate directly over the elements in the array without using indices. The third is using the enumerate function, where you can access both the index and the value of each element at the same time. Array iteration typically follows a series of steps. First, start at the first element, which is index 0, then process the current element, then move to the next element, and then repeat until all elements have been processed. Multidimensional arrays are arrays inside arrays. This creates a grid-like structure with rows and columns. Think of it like a table or matrix with values organized in rows and columns. To create a 2D array, you use a syntax like this. You access elements using indices for the row and column. You can also modify elements by specifying both indices. To iterate over a 2D array, you would typically use nested loops, one for the rows and another for the columns. Multidimensional arrays have common applications in game boards, pixel grids, and tables of data. To wrap things up, let's cover some best practices for working with arrays. First, use the appropriate methods. Choose the right built-in methods for operations like sorting, filtering, and transforming arrays. Second, check array boundaries. Always validate indices before accessing array elements to avoid index out-of-range errors. Third, use meaningful names. Name arrays clearly to indicate their content and purpose. Fourth, consider performance. Be mindful of array size and operations that may impact performance, especially with large data sets. By following these practices, you can write more efficient and robust code when working with arrays. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.